Did you make any installations on the street?
Yes, I have. Okay. This wasn't me.
Hey, I'm Sia Mukwena, and I'm walking in Nomzamo. It's an informal settlement just a few hours northeast of Johannesburg, right in the heartland of coal. But today is all about solar.
We're walking to A21. We're going to do the installation.
We're doing the installation now.
Yes. Now.
Siphesihle Magagula installs solar, and today she's taking me to the home of her favorite customer.
Go. Okay, you guys can come in. Yes.
Tabile Msibi's 4 grandkids are running around her. She's in her 60s, and so Siphesihle also calls her Gogo, or Granny. Gogo's been waiting for weeks for the team to come and install her second solar kit.
Maranje, every day I call Siphesihle, tell me, I'm coming, Gogo, I'm coming, no problem.
Gogo's home is just like her, warm and inviting. It's corrugated metal. The outside is painted dark red, the window frames are lime green. It's one of the nicest houses in Nomzamo. 3 bedrooms for 7 people, separated by lace curtains. And then Gogo shows me where she sleeps.
Put this side to sleep like this. Finish.
When I stepped into Gogo's home, it took a few minutes for my eyes to adjust. It's so dark. Even though it's bright and sunny outside, her windows don't let that much light in. Gogo's kitchen stove runs on wood and coal, so there's black ash everywhere. She would love an electric stove, but that's just out of the question.
Electric stove was too much money. Hey, expensive, eh? It's right, this one.
It's not just that the cost of a new stove is too much. It's the fact that Gogo's neighborhood has no electricity. Just to light her home at night, she used to spend hundreds of dollars a year to buy candles and paraffin. But that changed about a year ago when she got her first solar unit. And today, she's getting her second.
Yes, I'm happy. I have small thing I do.
Lula Mamasego is on top of Gogo Tabile's house. He's small and thin, which helps when you're balancing on a roof. Drill in one hand, solar panel in the other.
Oh, yeah.
With the panel mounted to the roof, Lulama runs a set of wires to his colleague inside. Siphesihle Magagula takes it from there. He grabs the wire and threads it through Gogo's house. He attaches it to a couple of lights inside and one right outside the front door. He then adds a USB port so that Gogo Tabile can charge her phone. It took about 30 minutes for the whole installation, and now they are packing up.
Yes. Everything is done now. There was no problems at all.
The team has installed about 400 solar panels in Nomzamo. Siphesihle knows his customers are happy to have a reliable and safe source of electricity. And he likes having reliable and safe work too.
I can buy clothes and maybe help my mother with some things. Yeah, because I can't expect everything from her. Yeah.
For Siphesihle, Lulama and Siphesihle, their jobs are about more than money. They're building their careers in an industry that's supposed to replace coal and reduce carbon emissions. In Nomzamo, it's opening up possibilities to make it a better place to live, while also raising questions about the limitations of renewable energy.
Hey, I'm Lesedi Mogwatle, and this is Radio Workshop. What you're hearing is pretty remarkable. In South Africa, an estimated 1.5 million homes are not connected to a power grid. And for those who are connected, about 85% of that electricity comes from coal-fired power plants. While the government says it is working to get electricity to more people, Nomzamo, the small community of about 400 households, is testing an alternative to coal: solar power. Communities like Nomzamo having access to solar is a key part of what South Africa's government has called the just energy transition. Simply put, the just energy transition is supposed to make things fair as the country shifts away from coal and towards cleaner power. But can renewables create the same opportunities that coal did? And how close to a perfect solution is needed to create the fairness promised by this just transition? In other words, how much justice in renewable energy is just enough? Places like Nomzamo were left behind long before anyone started talking about moving away from coal. Nomzamo is what we call an informal settlement. There are a few thousand of these communities in South Africa, and they generally have high rates of poverty, few jobs, and for young people, there's not a lot of hope for the future. Even though our reporter Sia Mokwena knows places like Nomzamo really well, he grew up not too far from there. He wanted to visit Nomzamo to get a sense of how renewable energy is changing things, especially for young people like himself. So he got Siphesihle Magagula to show him around.
Welcome to my community. This is Nomzamo. So I'm happy to introduce you in everything that is happening here in Nomzamo. I'm happy to show you everything.
Siphesihle is one of a handful of young people who are selling, installing, and maintaining solar power in this community. As we walk, Siphesihle points out house after house.
Yeah. So everyone in this street is my client. Actually, like every house that you are seeing in this street. Yeah, here on my right, it's A333. It's also my client. It's Mangele's house.
Since the project started a year ago, Siphesihle has sold starter solar kits to about half of Nomzamo. That has made him low-key famous among his neighbours. He's a charming, smooth-talking salesman, the kind of guy who could really sell anything to anyone.
Solar is something amazing. Solar is like it's a free energy because it's like a natural energy because it's powered by the sun.
It's free energy, but the technology is not free. The solar kits are built by Peko Power, a company based in Johannesburg. Peko Power designed the kits to be robust, easy to install, and affordable. And they hired Siphesihle and other young people, calling them Peko champions, to go door to door and sell the devices. It costs 80 Rand a month, or about $4, and eventually the renters own the unit. Siphesihle's sister Ronald says that's a big deal for people living in Nomzamo, especially when the town's name means struggle or effort.
They all go through the struggle of not having sanitation and water and electricity, so it's part of life and growing. So we are used to this thing of fetching water and everything.
Ronald is 27. She has a degree in financial management. Her son was born 3 years ago, around the time she moved to Nomzamo with her mother and brother.
And I was like, oh, this place is so cool. Kids playing on the street. It's already an environment that I have built, and it has been a friendly and welcoming environment.
Nomzamo hasn't been around for a long time. The first houses started to go up less than a decade ago. We heard that the mayor of the nearby town of Ermelo let some families move onto vacant land after floods left them homeless. But the government doesn't provide any services here. That means no electricity, no running water, no waste removal. Still, some residents found a way to connect their homes to nearby electricity and water. None of it is legal. Siphesihle says they've just learned to rely on each other.
We help each other. Anything that is bothering you is bothering me, it's bothering my neighbor. We come together and find a solution.
Despite being called an informal settlement, Nomzamo is highly organized. There's a neighborhood watch, a women's group, a leadership committee. And I don't want to give you the idea that Nomzamo is in the middle of nowhere. It's just on the outskirts of Ermelo, a highly developed coal town of more than 150,000 people. Ermelo is well lit compared to Nomzamo. Siphesihle says that before solar power, the nights in Nomzamo were tough.
After 7, it's not easy to walk around Nomzamo because it's too dark. It's dark, darkness always, it brings that fear. So it's scary. That's all, it's scary. At 7 o'clock, you will see no one on the street.
I spoke to so many families who said having outdoor lights has made a huge difference at night. It's much better than candlelight, brighter and safer, and of course cheaper too. They were spending 2 to 3 times more on candles than on the monthly rental of a solar kit. And on the streets of Nomzamo, the solar lighting is achieving something really amazing. So my producer Darshan Moodley and I came back to see it for ourselves. Oh, okay. The time now is 5 minutes past 7 in the evening. So we're getting outside of the car. We just arrived in Nomzamo again for the second time today. Hello, hello. Hello. Before solar power, it was pitch black here. You wouldn't even be able to see your own feet. People were worried about falling and hurting themselves or getting hurt by someone else. It was very scary. But a year ago, the PECO champions installed 60 double lamp streetlights, and as we're driving, I can see the difference. The areas with the street lamps are bright, and it feels safe.
And that it showed that we're developing as a community. We're growing.
That's Siphesihle Magagula. He lives in Nomzamo and works for Kuthala Environmental Care Group. It's a local nonprofit that educates residents about how coal harms their health. He says that nowadays, there's only one word to describe Nomzamo at night.
Oh, beautiful. That's where you see the solar is working. Oh, the solar. Everyone talks about, we need the solar, we need the... It's beautiful. Because when there is no electricity around ML, Nomzamo is the one with the light.
Siphesihle was talking about a time recently when the town next door lost power. It was due to a planned power cut, or what's called load shedding in South Africa. Power outages are now a part of life, but when Ermelo went dark, the lights in Nomzamo stayed on.
When there's the load shedding, they said, oh, we're going to Sentin now. Let's go there at Nomzamo. There's electricity.
Siphesihle was saying his neighbors bragged about how they were living large. Like they were in Sandton, the famously wealthy suburb in Johannesburg.
It's like they are proud. They are proud to be at Nomzamo.
And yeah, for young people like Siphesihle and his sister Ronelle, the street lights make life easier. But when solar was first talked about, it wasn't the first thing on their list.
Our life revolves around the cell phone.
Without a cell phone, it's like your mind is not working, man. Like if you don't have a cell phone, like you can see, here's my cell phone, but it doesn't have a battery. It's like you are off of this world, like everything is shut down.
I mean, we all know that feeling when our phone dies. And imagine if there's just no place to plug it in. For me, that's a feeling that really hits close to home. There was once a time when I was growing up that my family lived in a community just like Nomzamo. It's a few hours away from here, near another mining town. We didn't really have electricity either, so when my phone battery hit 1%, I had to pay someone to charge it for me. At some point, my dad got me a cheap solar-powered charger. I hung the solar panel from my window, but it didn't really work. I even remember a day when my dad asked me to come outside. He needed help. He was digging a trench with a couple of neighbours so that they could bury a power cable running from the local shop to our homes. It wasn't exactly legal, but it was the only way we could get electricity. And people in Nomzamo have been doing the same thing.
When it's raining, you know that these wires will be out of the ground. What will happen to the kids going to school?
It's not reliable because anytime the municipality can come and decide to cut it off, and then you won't be having power at that moment, But if you are having PECO, you will be able to have light, you will be able to charge your phone.
Pudi? Yeah, so should we come in? Okay. But for other families, getting some electricity from solar is not enough.
It's only lighting and charging.
Ayanda was one of the first people to move into Nomzamo. I see you have a fridge here. Then how do you use your fridge?
Illegal connection, to be honest.
Okay. Ayanda is not her real name. She asked us to call her that because, like a lot of her neighbors, she's still connected to illegal electricity.
I've talked to the neighbors that had already had their illegal connections. Then they connected me, and then I took the cable to the house.
So the basic solar units aren't strong enough to power big appliances. And while Peko sells a much more expensive unit that can power a fridge or a TV, it's hard to compete with the mostly free cost of an illegal hookup, especially when it provides enough power to meet one of the biggest needs, which is storing food.
Yes. Okay, so now I'm about to open the shelter and then we're about to go in and see the refrigerator.
That's Siphesihle again, the Peko champion. He unlocks and opens the door to a corrugated metal shelter.
We are inside now and then we are opening the fridge.
The fridge inside is a chest freezer. It's one of the 10 communal freezers spread across Nomzamo, all powered by larger solar units and shared by dozens of nearby residents. The freezers are here because so many people couldn't afford to buy food in bulk without a way to keep it fresh. Many residents said they spent up to half their income on food, and so Maria Mayaba agreed to keep a communal freezer on her property for her neighbours to store their food. Maria's in her late 60s, a pensioner who until recently made some money selling coal on the side to her neighbours. She says then the police cracked down on illegal coal mining and her supply dried up. So when the leadership of Nomzamo asked her to be the custodian of this freezer and get paid for it, she was open to it.
She
said she's available anytime for the community. So even if people can call at 10 p.m., she wakes up to make sure that the meat is out.
There's meat here. There are plastic which are carrying meat. Okay, it's about 4 packages here. Yeah, and then that's it.
But Ayanda, who relies on illegal electricity, says some people didn't want a communal fridge. What they wanted and thought they were going to get was enough electricity to run their own refrigerators in their own houses.
There are expectations. It's okay, I'm going to be able to plug my fridge and also to boil water, but it was not like that. Our expectations were high, but we didn't get what we were expecting. So when time goes on, I became very disappointed at the project.
So part of her disappointment goes back to how the project got started. Before the people living in Nomzamo had access to solar, they were invited to dream big about things way beyond what a small solar unit could provide.
When they are going to implement this project somewhere else, they have to introduce a better system, not this one.
Green Cape is a non-profit in Cape Town, the ones behind the efforts to bring solar to Nomzamo.
People have aspirations and people want more things.
Reshmi Walvers leads Green Cape's solar project in Nomzamo.
They should want more things. That's not the problem. They didn't have anything before we went into this community, and I want them to want more eventually. They probably won't get it from us, but they should still be aspiring towards that.
Reshmi's team chose Nomzamo because they'd been looking for a community that seemed safe and open to change.
They were already quite progressive. They were already quite organized. They seemed to really care about the community itself and the fact that it seemed like a peaceful community coexisting.
To fund the solar project, Green Cape raised money from a few foreign embassies, including Denmark, New Zealand, and France. Then Green Cape selected Peko Power to build the solar kits and the streetlights. Green Cape says all along the way, the people in Nomzamo were involved.
For me, the main indicator of our success is that I haven't had to chase anyone for this, but they have really been coming together as active citizens. That's the ultimate goal here.
Reshmi says the project has met a lot of residents' power needs. Plus, it's provided jobs, even if it's nowhere near the amount being lost in the larger shift away from coal. The thing is, When Green Cape asked people living in Nomzamo to dream about life with solar, they imagined having enough power to support Wi-Fi hotspots, washing machines, even televisions. But for Ayanda and others, this was more than a dream. It was a promise that was broken.
Why didn't they do what they've promised from the onset? What changed? What made them change without letting the community know?
Reshmi gets that there's a gap between what people wanted and the available funds. She says better communication in the future might help, but another problem that was much harder to predict came up. We are back with Maria Mayaba, who manages a communal freezer. When she agreed to store people's food, Green Cape told her she'd earn around 30 Rand a month, about $2 from each neighbor, an amount she's supposed to charge to make it worth her while.
Out of 20 people, only 3 people paid 30 Rand for the past 2-3 weeks, and everybody else that comes and wants to leave their food here, she lets them because she feels it belongs to the community.
So Green Cape's push for solar gets kind of a mixed report card from people in Nomzamo. Yes, some things are better, but they didn't get everything they wanted or thought they would.
This kind of community co-design is very new.
Tracy Ledger is part of the Public Affairs Research Institute in Johannesburg. Her work focuses on the just transition.
Normally what happens is somebody else designs the solution and simply comes and imposes it in the community.
So Tracy applauds Green Cape's efforts to work with the people in Nomzamo, and she gets why some people feel the effort falls short.
The question is whether or not you're doing a better job than the alternative processes of design, rather than saying, well, if you didn't have a perfect solution and everybody isn't happy, then it hasn't worked. It's a learning curve.
Tracy's research focuses on how much energy people really need. Take the freezers, for example. It saves them a lot of money, but requires a lot of power. And as South Africa moves away from coal, Tracy wants the government to treat access to energy as a fundamental human need, like shelter or food.
Electricity competes with food. The research shows that quite clearly, that the main item that households will cut back on to buy electricity is food. So we shouldn't think that it's a good thing that households are willing to compromise their food security status to pay for electricity.
Tracy's organization wants the government to provide enough electricity to meet basic needs. That's about 35 times what a PECO starter kit provides.
It's a fallacy that poor people don't want to pay for things. I mean, even when people have illegal connections, that's not free electricity. You pay a lot of money for an illegal connection.
Tracy says Green Cape's project in Nomzamo gets more right than wrong. And so it's fine that it's not perfect.
What I'm saying is that we need to guard against the temptation to think that this is the solution. That if we've done this, that there is no more problem. That is my main issue. It's not to criticize the project. I think the project's great, and it's obviously got benefits for the local community. My question is that we do not look at this as a final solution and that say that in Nomzamo there is now no problem.
There's an irony to Nomzamo, especially in the just transition. This community that is trying to get even a little bit of electricity is so close to some of the largest coal mines in the country. The N17 highway runs right past Nomzamo. Siphesihle sees hundreds of coal trucks pass by each day.
Every day what I see in this road, N17, are trucks, coal trucks, yeah. Going up and down, you know.
Those trucks are the old economy, the coal economy that built this region. But it also left places like Nomzamo behind. The solar project here isn't going to stop those trucks. 5 PECO champion jobs won't replace the thousands of coal jobs that will disappear as South Africa transitions to renewable energy. But it's done a lot for Siphesihle and his community. It's given him skills and a steady income.
Oh, guys, in 10 years from now, I think I'll be running my own business.
But right now, he's looking for work. His job as a PECO champion is almost done. He installed solar power for everyone who wanted it in Nomzamo. Now he's busy collecting monthly rent from his clients. But he hopes he and the other PECO champions will be able to start their own businesses to sell solar to other communities like Nomzamo.
So as for now, like, I'm seeing an opportunity in solar. So I think maybe in 10 years from now, I'll be running my solar company.
For young people like Siphesihle, his sister Ronal, and me, growing up in coal towns where everything is changing, we have to grab whatever opportunity we can find.
I will explore every way to make money. Yeah. Even if moving out of my comfort zone, I will move.
Ronal's describing the hustle to find stability. That's the reality for most young people here. Renewable energy won't create the perfect job, but it is opening up doors to possibilities that weren't there before.
Everyone, when you talk about the PECO system, the first person they approach is Siphesihle, because they know that he will treat them with the utmost respect. I'm proud of you. Yeah.
I love you and I respect you. Big time. It makes me feel very important because she never told me that. It's my first time hearing that she's proud of me.
Siphesihle's all smiles reacting to Ronal's pride. It's big. For both of them. And whatever happens next, Siphesihle is someone who electrified his community. It's a story he can tell for the rest of his life.
This story was reported by Sia Mokwena and Darshan Moodley. Production assistance from Mo Isu and Malvin Shabangu. Thanks to Kutala Environmental Care Group, Green Cape, Pico Power, VOCFM in Ermelo, and residents of Nomzamo for their support. This episode was edited by me, Lesedi Mogwatle, with help from Kerry Donahue, who provided mentorship and editorial support to our team. Original music by Kamani Sambu at Edible Audio in Cape Town. Sound engineering by Joe Jackson and Mike Rayfeld. Joe Jackson is our managing producer. Clemence Petit-Perrault is our impact producer with support from impact strategist Andy Jones. Mike Rayfeld is our executive producer. Vuyo Letseke is our executive director. This episode and the work of Radio Workshop would not be possible without support from the Doc Society, the UMI Fund, the African Climate Foundation, and the Oppenheimer Memorial Trust. A special thanks to Context News at the Thomson Reuters Foundation for collaborating with us on this story. You can find a link to their story with our background research in our show notes. Special thanks to Rob Byers and to Hindenburg for supporting our projects across Africa with audio editing software. We can only do this work because of your support. You can make a donation at radioworkshop.org.